Vice President and flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Bawumia, has touted religious and faith-based organizations as instrumental partners for development of the nation. Premising on the numerous developments undertaken by various religious institutions, he says his government will consider leveraging this expertise to the benefit of the country. The NPP presidential hopeful made the remarks at an engagement with the clergy in the Western region as part of his regional campaign tour. There's more in this report.
Recognizing the role of religious and faith-based institutions, the NPP flag bearer Dr. Bawumia said his government in future would leverage their impact to promote development.
One of the things I want to do as president, I believe, is to introduce a golden age, that of a relationship between church and faith-based organizations and government. Why do I say so? I believe that that is the reality. If you look at the church, for example, the church has done so much for the country. Schools, hospitals, taking care of people. It's just phenomenal what the church has done. So if you are looking for development partners in our country, they are not the foreigners. The development partners, our number one is the church and the faith-based organizations. How many schools do our development partners build for us? How many hospitals do they build? But therefore, how can we leverage this and give incentives to the church and to the faith-based organizations for them to do more for us? And this is where I want us to see and enhance incentives for our churches and faith-based organizations.
Dr. Bawumia also charged politicians not to gamble with the peace that Ghana is currently enjoying for their political gains.
Different religions, we get on very well, and you may not even know that we are different religions. You go to Nigeria, it stares you in the face. It's very sharp, and people don't tend to get along for these reasons. So I'm most grateful for this country, and I want to ask you to continue to pray for the peace of this country. As politicians, we will come and go, but Ghana will always be here. It will always be here. And we need to protect this country and not sacrifice the peace and stability of this country on the altar of political ambitions or ambitions of particular parties.
The Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, is in the Western region of Ghana on a day's campaign tour ahead of the 2024 general elections.
In the wake of the recent tragic killing of a military officer in Kaswa over land disputes, the NPP flag bearer also emphasized the urgent need for land digitization in Ghana. Dr. Bawumia says his government is committed to the modernization of the land administration system and the enhancement of access to land-related services for all Ghanaians.
Really going as far as we want. One of the areas that we need to really solve is the land digitalization. Where we're going to digitalize the whole process, you should be able to sit down at home and know who really owns this land on your mobile phone without really going to get land guards. Today we are working with land guards and people are being killed over ownership. But once we digitalize the whole process, the courts will know in 1 minute who really owns this land, because everything will be digitalized, and we'll use blockchain technology. Blockchain technology sounds fancy, but it's simple. It means once you use it, nobody can change that record. Nobody can change the record. That record is immutably solid. So once you apply blockchain technology to this thing, all the community that you tend to see at the Lands Commission that you think the files are missing, records are changed, all of that will be his history. And that can allow the country to develop. Because you cannot develop if land ownership is in question. Investors will not come. You don't have a mortgage market. And so we're going to do a whole new thing. I also believe that
introduction.